नमस्कार, मैं हूं अली अब्बास। तेज़ रफ्तार न्यूज़ में आपका स्वागत है। आइए नज़र डालते हैं आज की कुछ ताज़ा खबरों पे।
Aquity Solutions welcome you all for the very first interaction between the company which is going pretty dynamic on the medical transcription, coding and scribing business. And here's an opportunity where we can have an interaction with the companies. The leadership is here. May I have the pleasure to introduce you to the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Kashyap Joshi. And also we have the Executive Director, Mr. Aquity Rodriguez with us. So without further ado, I would love to call Mr. Aquity Rodriguez to first of all welcome Mr. Kashyap Joshi to India, and may I just request.
Let me first welcome you all to this first ever press meet being organized by us, by Aquity. And thank you all for being here. The entire media fraternity, whoever has come here, I would like to thank you all on behalf of the company. Let me introduce you all to Kashyap. Kashyap is, first and foremost, he is one of us Indian who began his career with this company somewhere in 2004, and was part of the finance and the accounting team. Okay, and has risen through these years, from an accounts manager to senior manager in accounting, then the CFO, and now today he's the CEO of this company. Okay, I've had the pleasure of working with him since 2007, and we both have been with this company for quite a long time now. So before I call him to present Aquity and what Aquity is all about, I would like to just give you a brief, a little bit to know about us. And we basically started in 1999 in India, whereas our global operations are since 1984. So we have spent more than 45 years in this industry. We began operations in India since 1999. We operated under the name called Seabase Systems earlier, and then we were rebranded to M Model in 2012, and now Aquity. Aquity was formed on account of a transaction that happened somewhere in the beginning of 2019, where the technology business and the IP was sold off to 3M, and the services division of the M Model company was spun off into a different company, and that is Aquity as we are called today. We have the main core line of this entire business was medical transcription, which was started way back in 1999 here in India, and over a period of time we've done a lot in that particular vertical, right from where somebody had to listen to what was being said and typed. Today almost 90% is through speech recognition engines, and it's just about 10% of work that literally has to be typed in. We'll get more information about these services from Kashyap, but from transcription we have now moved into different verticals in the same healthcare segment, and which is coding and scribing, and these are the areas where we are going to focus more for our growth and expansion here in India. So Kashyap will take you through, we'll give you a presentation about all our business verticals and the roadmap for 2020, going forward. So I call Kashyap.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for coming. We highly appreciate it, and I know you guys have more interesting things to cover about Maharashtra CM, right? So spending time to come here and understand about the healthcare domain, and we really appreciate it, right? So I wanted to walk you guys through through a small video right now where we launched Aquity as our brand, and which will give you a very small overview of what we are doing, how our customers feel about it, an interview of a brief introduction into our operations. And in India, 99. So we have been in India for more than 20 years and have created this employment in India which wouldn't have been here. Because all the domains that we operate, the healthcare in India is done much differently than it is done in US. So we provide 100% to the US market. So all these thousands of jobs over the years that we have created is because of we thinking about India and trying to do things differently, right? And providing that benefit of jobs, this many jobs in India. And why are we talking right now is we are at the cusp of creating thousands more jobs in India, provided we can train those talents, and we are continuously investing into it. But we need the Indian public to understand that this level of jobs are there, because these are, everybody in the media talks about call center jobs, right, on BPO jobs, but nobody talks about these healthcare jobs, which are equally paid very well, plus is very dignified, right? When you are helping a doctor to help them to serve a patient, it's a very dignified job. You are not attending a multiple calls or dealing with multiple people. You are directly dealing with doctor themselves, who is the highest denominator in the healthcare provider chain, right? Because you are you are basically managing a person who is treating the patient. So it's a very respectful job, and that's what we have created thousands of these jobs. Our employees are our biggest talent that we have in India, and today, we are planning to expand aggressively in India and add more jobs into our segments that are growing, basically coding and scribing. So I will introduce you guys to each of the segments so you guys understand what exactly we are doing, right? Because talking to the people here, I realize that there is very limited understanding about what actually healthcare documentation is. So let me walk you through that, guys, but I'll be very happy to answer any questions that will come into your mind, because this is relatively very different than how the healthcare is done in India. 3M, the giant 3M, for $1 billion, and as a part of that restructuring, service business was rebranded as Aquity Solutions. And we are a company which is owned by 3 large funds: Brigade Capital, Ares Capital, and Barings. So we are supported by a very large investor, and they are multi-billion-dollar funds. So we are, Aquity is a very large company with a very good capital support. So we continue to invest in our workforce and in our facilities and provide excellent employment to all our people. So just an overview about it. And we are partnered with 3M, and we use a lot of technologies that were ours, but we sold it to 3M in February. But we continue to utilize that services. So 3M treats us as their partner, and we keep on providing services on using their platform. Next slide, please. And we have a very highly experienced team. As Agnello introduced myself, that I have been with the company for 15 years, and I'm very proud to start my career back here in India 15 years back, and over the years have risen to the different positions. The last one being CFO of the entire entity when we did the transaction, and then our investor after making $1 billion made me CEO of the company. So I'm very, very happy and very proud to be associated with such a people, where I've been a part to create so much of thousands of employment here in India, and would continue to do that. So just an overview of our management, which is an experienced management and have been in the healthcare for most of their career. So Agnello, as he said, he has been with the company since 2007, and all my US counterparts have been in the healthcare segment at least for 10 years plus. So it's an experienced management that runs Aquity. So we are very highly expert in what we do with respect to healthcare. Our business is US, or our customers are US centric. We provide delivery using India. So we are in 5 countries and 11 operation centers in India. So we are in length and breadth of India. Mumbai, as you can see, Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, Vizag, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mysore, and Coimbatore. And in US, predominantly we have 2 offices, Nashville and Raleigh, and then we have development center in Pittsburgh and Atlanta. In overall 6,400 people, and what we do is basically technology-enabled service line. So we are like to give you an analogy is we are Intel inside. As you see, Intel is in any computer, right? So whether you buy a Dell or you buy an Lenovo or you buy any other computer, Intel is always inside. So when people buy technology, we are the people who are behind this technology. We are the service providers. So any technology, if somebody buys, we are the people who are enabling that technology to deliver. Technology on its own cannot deliver the end result. What we do is it enables technology to deliver the final outcome to the healthcare. So we are technology enabled service line predominantly in these three lines. Transcription, which is our bread and butter business, where we have been in this forever. Virtual scribing, which is growing in leaps and bounds. And this is the area where we want to grow in India in thousands of numbers, where we can create these jobs. These are direct one-on-one relationship with doctors, relatively a highly paid job and a very, very stable jobs. And then coding, which is basically where transcription and coding takes place. And I will walk you guys through a little bit what exactly these things are, right? Today, when I just tell you transcription, virtual scribing and coding, it's just a word, right? What actually we do is very important to understand. Can you go to the next slide? In US, Canada, Australia and India, what do we do? What is medical transcription? Now and why it is required, let me walk you guys through. In US, it's a requirement under the HIPAA Act, and it's a statutory requirement for any conversation between a doctor and a patient has to be documented. It is compulsory, it's not an option. And that has to be documented in such a way that that information is private and it is portable. So it can be easily transferred to somewhere else. And for that information to be transferable, it has to be digital. You cannot transfer a handwritten note, right? It has to be in the digital format if you want to transfer it. So it has to be digitized, every conversation. And that can be as simple as me going to a doctor and complaining, hey, I have a fever. Doctor tells me, now, you have a fever, take Tylenol, right? No, or take crocin. In this case, even that instant has to be documented. And then you will tell me, why will doctor do that? Now in US, the recipient of the healthcare service is different than the payer. Payer is generally insurance companies because majority of the population is insured. So even for doctor visits, you have to get insurance paid. So unless doctor documents that, he will not get paid, because document is the proof of doctor providing that service to the patient. And after that document, once it is transcribed, it goes to the coder for getting coded. And unless it is coded, it won't get paid. So that's why it is very important and essential service. If any doctor or any healthcare service provider, if they want to get paid, they have to document it. It's compulsory. Plus, it is a statutory requirement to document every conversation. So these are two necessities that healthcare service provider has to do in US, and that's why our services are very important and will keep on continuing to grow. That is our transcription services. What doctor does is, after seeing a patient, he dictates on a device, using a handheld device on his computer. He dictates verbally. And what we do is we collect that voice data, we convert it into a textual report. That's what we do. That is traditional, our bread and butter medical transcription business, where every day or a US working day, we record 9,000 hours of dictation and we convert that into data using our transcriptionist that you saw over on the prior slide. The majority of our work is done out of India in those 11 centers that we mentioned across the thing, and it's a tremendous amount of data that we process every day, and that's what we do. It is pure medical transcription, and as I said, it is required. First of all, it is statutory to document it, and second is, if you don't document it, you never will get paid on this. So that's why it is very important and a very necessity for doctors to do that. Virtual scribing. Now, what is virtual scribing? In US, and you guys would have heard about, there was a huge advent during the Obama time about EMR, electronic medical records and electronic health records, where entire software technology was used to do all documentation or healthcare, capturing all the information. And during that time, what happens is unknowingly there was tremendous pressure put onto doctors to do a lot of administrative work. So when you go and visit a doctor, and you can search this in YouTube or any other video, you will see that doctor is not looking at the patient in the eyes. He is in front of computer. He is typing the data, and that is not liked by patient nor by doctors. Doctors are telling that we went to medical school not to become this data junkie. We went to medical school so we can look into our patient in the eyes and cure what their problems are. Right? Today, with the advent of these EMRs, we have been made a data junkie, and I don't want to be a data junkie, right? So doctors hate this, patient hate this, because I as a patient, when I go to the doctor, I want my doctor to listen to me. I want doctor to look into my eyes, and then I want doctor to cure that. But I'm not even sure that doctor is listening to me because he is in front of computer. I don't even know he's listening to me, so I don't get that satisfaction of relief when I go to the doctor. That's what all of us do, right? When we go to the doctor, we get that relief, but we don't get that when the doctor is sitting in front of a computer. So doctors are having this tremendous pressure of documentation, which creates a burnout, it creates a lot of physician burnout. So what physicians are telling in US is, we don't want to continue to do this. We cannot continue to do this. We are in a tremendous stress. We don't want, they don't want their kids to go become a doctor. They don't want their friends to become a doctor, and that is putting a lot of pressure onto the US healthcare system. So how do you solve this? And that's what virtual scribing is. What is virtual scribing? Virtual scribe is a person who is an administrative assistant to the doctor, and he does all the administrative work that doctor needs to do just by listening to the conversation. So what it does is, there is a speakerphone in the doctor's examination room where the scribe sitting here in India is listening to that conversation happening between the doctor and the patient. And he is documenting everything that doctor needs to document in the EMR. He is populating all the things. He is ordering medicines. He is ordering any pathological reports that need to be done, any follow-up that needs to be done. Plus, he is also putting the notes. Okay, doctor said this, and he referred these things, and then he asked patient to come back after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. He is doing everything. And as soon as doctor is completed seeing the patient, the chart is ready for doctor to review. Doctor looks at it, glances at it, yeah, this makes sense, and hits his digital signature. So he agrees to that, and the chart is done, prepared. With doctor spending even fraction of a second to review that. So what that does to doctor is, it frees up his time, right? The time that he would have spent in doing this administrative work, it frees up. Now he is free to look at the patient in his eyes, right? That gives him a satisfaction. Plus, when his administrative burden is taken away and somebody else does, is he can see a couple of more patients, right? So average, by us doing this medical scribing services, we have done time and motion study, and we are saving around 90 minutes to 120 minutes. So roughly 1.5 hours to 2 hours of every day's doctor's time. Now, when you give that time back to doctor, what is he going to do? He's going to see more patients, right? So the backlog that created because of administrative burden is now freed up. Doctor is seeing more patient, treating more patient, and patient is also satisfied that now doctor is looking in my eyes and is not looking at the computers. So this is an excellent opportunity. In US, there are total 750,000 plus physicians, doctors, plus equal amount of nurse practitioners and physician treaters. So the demand for this is crazy. Even if we want to hire that many people, we cannot, right? We can't hire that many people. In US, there is, as you guys have heard about, US's employment is going to the best time, right? We have the lowest unemployment in US. So where can I get these people? Why not do it in India? If I have to listen to a conversation, why not that person can be in India? And we have been very successful, or we are the only company who is successful to do this out of India. We now have around 200 plus scribes being recruited, and we just started last year. So we have 200 plus scribes recruited, and with our training and investment that we have done, we can recruit thousands more in next year. So our plan is by end of next year to have more than 1500 plus scribes in India to do this work. But the demand of this is tremendous. Every doctor, once they have seen this, they will say, I want scribe, I want my free hours, I want my hours to be freed up. So the demand for this is tremendous, and even if we want, we cannot recruit that many people there in US because there is a physical constraint. US is a country of only 300 million people, and India is 1.2 billion, right? With the unemployment, whatever year it is, there is no special skill required for this kind. You don't have to be a doctor. You just have to be a very good graduate person with a good cognitive skills, where you understand what the conversation between doctor and patient is going, and you document it. So you don't have to be any science background or any medicine background. What we need to do is go through a simple training that we have. right? And you can easily do this job. These jobs are relatively very highly paid, but not spoken about, right? In Indian media, nobody talks about these kind of jobs. They are very important. What they do is they free up doctors to basically solve healthcare problems. So this is very important from doctor's perspective, and what we have seen in last 1 year that we have been doing this is doctor develops a very good personal relationship with the virtual scribe. So doctor treats scribe very nicely. We had a couple of doctors on their own came here in Hyderabad center where we were providing the service just to meet their scribe. They feel that they are just extension of their office, and they develop that relationship with the scribe. So they are treated very nicely as if this is just a natural extension of their office, and it's a very respectful job, right? So scribing is an area of our focus, and it is growing multifold, and we would want to grow it more faster. But the challenge is how do you hire that many people and train them, right? And have that cognitive skills. As you guys know, as somebody comes out from a graduate from the college, he has gone through the graduation program but is not ready to be put into the workforce, right? So we have to train them and make sure he understands the communication skills with a doctor, because you are directly dealing with doctor. It's a one-on-one relationship. It cannot be sloppy. You have to be, because US doctors their patience level is very different. So you have to be the best in the class. So that's why we are focused on training, get these talent trained, and then deploy them into the work. So it's a highly trained industry, and where you guys can help us is spread the word about this kind of jobs are available, but we want people to go into this, right? We are taking ourselves initiatives in terms of training people. We have tied up with a university in Coimbatore, where we have opened a center in the college itself, and that institute has designed a course for medical transcription, and we hire the people who come out of the college directly. So we are ourselves doing it, but we will partner with government. Are thinking about partner with Prime Minister Modi's Skill India initiative, right? Is to develop these kind of skills to people so they are ready for employment. And there is ample opportunities here, and we are ready to invest. We have excellent training infrastructure in all those centers. As you can see, we are in all the bigger cities in India. So we have invested, all training workforce is ready for them. We need people in thousands to do this. Everybody of our customers that we are talking to wants to use this scribing services. And how it starts is, once a facility starts with a department, say cardiology department, and the cardiology doctor start using it, and he will tell to his friend who is an ophthalmologist, I'm using scribe, are you not using it? And then he wants it, then somebody else wants it. So we started with Yale University, one of our largest customers. We started with 10 scribes last year, and today we are with 185 scribes, and all are sitting here in Hyderabad. Right? So it's a tremendous opportunity for people, and we are going to invest heavily in terms of infrastructure and training into those guys to that. So that's what virtual scribing is. And then coding is basically where transcription or scribing ends. So whenever a chart is prepared or its documentation is done, then it goes to the coder for getting it coded. Not the coding doesn't mean the technical coding. What it means is a medical coding. As I said, in US, the recipient of a service or a healthcare service is different than the payer. Service recipient is people like us, patients, right? And the payers are insurance companies, because everybody or most of the population is paid. So the bill needs to be submitted to the insurance company for getting it paid, and that's why it goes through a coder. Coder is a person who basically reads the document and then codes the key name of the diseases, ailments that are being treated, and then he or she will submit it to the insurance company or the billing for getting it paid. Without a document getting coded, it cannot be paid. So US ICD-10 has 89,000 plus codes. So every disease, every ailment, every drug has a unique code, and you have to code it accordingly, then only you will get paid. And that's what the coders do. So again, it's a natural extension for us to go in this, because we are already having the documentation by doing transcription and by doing the virtual scribing, right? So as soon as the document is done, it can go to the next desk to the coders for getting it coded. And coding, as I said, is also a necessity, otherwise they won't get paid. So what has happened in the last years in coding, and that's why this is an area of focus for us. in US today, even today, 90% of the coding is insourced. So what do I mean by insourced? Is hospitals hire coders on their payroll and they do their coding. Nobody uses very few people use third party to do this. But as you guys are aware that there is a tremendous pressure in US healthcare to reduce the cost. And the cost reduction cannot be in the healthcare service provider. They cannot reduce doctors or nurses or any healthcare related service provider cost. So what they have to reduce is administrative cost. So how will you reduce administrative cost? Is by outsourcing this. By them hiring a local coder, it is very inefficient because they are not measuring their efficiency. They don't give them the tools at all that is required for them to be productive. What we do is we train them continuously. We provide them with the tools which make them very productive. Plus, we can do it out of here in India. It doesn't have to be done in US. We can do it at a fraction of a cost here. And this is already we Indians are brilliant with the financial. Coding is more financial related than the documentation related. We already have a very good trained workforce who understands financially things much better than an average person would. So this is a natural transition for us. We are growing at least 30 to 40% every year in the coding business and creating a lot of jobs here in India. Because we are one of the unique players in this with India capacity. There are a lot of players in coding industry, but what they do is they just outsource coders in US. But we do it from India, which is done at a 30% cost of what a US coder would be. If US coder cost is $100, Indian coder is $30. That is the cost advantage, right? So when you go to the hospital and you put numbers like this, they are obviously going to try it, right? And as we are successful in doing it, there is no quality differentiator that we have found between a US coder and an Indian coder, provided they go through the training that we provide them. So natural extension for us, and we keep on investing into these capacities. We now have 260 coders working for us, all of them very highly successful and trained. And we keep on adding every month 30-40 coders. So this is again a good area for us to grow. And of the $8.9 billion opportunity of the three segments that we spoke about, $7.9 billion is US. But other markets are coming. Australia is going very close to where US was. UK is going very close, and Canada. And we are present in all these markets. Not to the extent what US. US, it is highly need-based, right? They need transcription because one, it is statutory, and second, they need to get paid, right? So it is much required. In these countries, they are doing this because they want to adopt best healthcare practices. It is very good for humankind to document these conversations and the treatment and the ailment, because if this is in a digital format, document this, then only research can do, right? You just imagine the level of data that we have in terms of treatment for any disease or any ailment. If these data is analyzed in a proper way, it can solve most of the human problems, right? So most of these countries are going there, and this market size is going to grow up continuously. And we, predominantly being a very large player, as I said, Intel inside the service provider, we will work with Amazon, Google, anybody who is providing this service to be their service arm. Who is providing the technology, we want to be their service arm, so we can help them to get technology where it is required to solve human problems. And that's why it's a very large market and growing rapidly. Of the doctor, because else you cannot provide that service, and you are documenting healthcare where a small mistake can cost so much, right, in terms of human health and related things. So our focus is on India, and we want to keep on basically raise this human capital that we have in India. We want to double in numbers from where we are. As you saw that we have 4,000 plus employees in India. We would want to double that number as soon as we can. But there are challenges in terms of training people, right? And we would want to work with more and more universities or institutions that can help us to get even a semi-trained person, out of the college. Then we can train them to create these kind of jobs. So it's very exciting for us, and for me personally, being the CEO of this company and being an Indian in my past life would definitely be a great sense of pride to tell that, right? You are already aware of why India is the resource capital of the world and the biggest talent pool of skilled and English-speaking resources, the most cost effectiveness. We are very much present in India, as you saw, and geographically we should take advantage of that. And obviously, government of India, the current government has taken initiatives in terms of, the Skill India movement, and we want to participate in that, how we can help to create more jobs like this, because we want people like this. And how can we help government India to, or partner with government of India in this initiative, so we can create this employment during the challenging time, right? So you keep on hearing people, big companies firing 10,000 people, firing this many people. We want to hire people, and that's what we want to do. But we want to train them with the right skills, so they can even extend in their career. Just to give you of the scribes that we have today in our workforce, 47% of them have been medical transcription with us. So we have been able to convert those transcriptionists into the scribes. So we have designed and invested into the training program, which helps their career to enhance. Similarly, we had converted hundreds of transcriptionists into coders. So we do cross-train people across our line, so they can enhance their career and make a difference in their own lives, right? So we continuously are investing into it, and we are committed to provide state-of-the-art facility to our employees. You can visit any of our offices and you will see our employees rejoicing or enjoying the infrastructure that we have. And of course, we take a pride into that. It's already, we have a highly satisfied customer base. We just need to utilize our talents into different areas, right? That's what we are trying to do. And one more source of information here. We didn't play that video, but there's a third-party agency known as Class, KLAS Class, and you guys can see it's on a domain. Basically, they are like JD Powers of healthcare IT. Like how JD Powers does customer satisfaction in the consumer industry, Class does in the healthcare. And we are rated #1 company in the class for the services that we provide, because we provide quality service to our customers, and that's why they want to do business with us. You are aware, I'm just repeating most of the thing, that we want to explore new territories and extend it. So we will go into, again, in the healthcare domain only, we will expand our services into different areas. Our customers, which are healthcare hospitals, larger hospitals in US, want us to help them in different services, because they are not able to find the right talent there in US. They are not able to find the talent at the right price in US. So they want us to help them in various services. So we will naturally branch out into different services, again in the healthcare domain, and give multiple employment opportunity to those employees who are working for us, in terms of training them into different skill sets and giving them a better opportunity in life. Thank you for listening to me. So the training, not only in terms of people they train, but in terms of the material that you train, right? So that's a big investment. So for transcription, it is around 4 weeks. Coding, what happens is very specialized. So you can't, they have to have certain level of education that is required. Then you can train them in 4 to 8 weeks. But first prerequisite is a US coding certification, which is easily available here in India. So they can get it done. And scribing is around 12 weeks. But you don't have any institute or anybody training you on scribes, right? So we are the one who are training people into scribes or converting transcription into the scribe. It's around 12 weeks. What we are training people is the two-way communication. How do you interact with the doctors, and the medical oncology, medical terminology. Those are the things that we train them. So it's around a 12-week period that we can, when somebody comes from a fresher with I would say, reasonable English speaking skills, we can put them into production. In fact, we pay them stipend to do that. Okay, so yeah, that's what our investment, one of the investment that you're talking about is that they don't have to pay any fees.
We are providing them.
We are providing them. We need people. We need thousands of people.
Age limit and
there's no age limit.
Your centers are pan-India?
Pan-India. So I said, like, there are 11 centers, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Coimbatore, Vizag, Pune, Nagpur. So materially, most of the cities we have covered in India. And we will expand, it's not that if there is a necessity for us to expand, we will go into other parts in India. But we are predominantly, me being lived in India most of my life, would want to expand only in India. I'm not going to Philippines, or I'm not going anywhere else. I want to create employment here because we are successful in doing it. There is no reason for me to go into any other job. direct clients are US, which is number one. We have a large customer base in Canada, UK, Australia, and then few European countries too. But they are all coming up. They are all adopting this best healthcare practices. So US is a leader, right? US is a leader, and now every country that I mentioned is following. UK, Canada, and Australia are very close. Other countries will take years to do that.
This useful for doctor also. All are disease and medicine.
It is useful for doctors. So we have around 25-30 doctors who are working for other scribes.
It's true, but there is some any kind of disease. Then medicine is a particular company or available in this demand also in this particular city.
No, what we do is only documenting it, right?
Okay.
So we are only documenting. We are not treating people. We can't treat people, right? We need
No, but periodically if it is disease. In disease there are some various company, the medicine is available market, which is suitable for that patient and particularly their necessity.
Yeah, we don't do that, sir. No, we don't. मेरा नाम कश्यप जोशी है. मैं एक्यूटी सॉल्यूशंस अमेरिका की लार्जेस्ट हेल्थ केयर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कंपनी का सीईओ हूँ. और आज हमारा जो प्रोग्राम था वो जो लोगों को बताने के लिए कि हम कितने इंडिया में जॉब्स क्रिएट कर रहे हैं जो स्किल सेट्स आर हेल्थ केयर रिलेटेड है और जिसकी अमेरिका में बहुत डिमांड है, और हम कितना इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं ये लोगों को ट्रेन करने के लिए. एंड प्रिडोमिनेंटली ये जो स्क्राइबिंग टेक्नोलॉजी, स्क्राइबिंग, वर्चुअल स्क्राइबिंग है, वो क्या है. वो डॉक्टर जब भी पेशेंट से बात करता है तभी रूम में एक डिवाइस है जो इंडियन स्क्राइब यहाँ पे बैठे बैठे सुन रहा है, एंड वो सारा डिस्कशन एक जो कंप्यूटर EMR में फिलअप कर रहा है डॉक्टर के बिहाफ पे, एंड वो डॉक्टर का कितना टाइम फ्री अप कर देता है और जिससे डॉक्टर ज़्यादा पेशेंट देख सकता है एक दिन में. और डॉक्टर अगर ज़्यादा पेशेंट देखता है तो ऑब्वियसली हॉस्पिटल को भी उसका नफ़ा है. सो इंडियन लेबर यूज़ करके ये कितना लाभदायक है फॉर एवरीबॉडी, ये डिस्कशन इसके बारे में था. और हम यहाँ पे 11 सेंटर इंडिया में हैं हमारे, मुंबई, हैदराबाद, बेंगलोर, कोयम्बतूर, वाइजैक, नागपुर, पुणे में. हमने तकरीबन 5000 लोग हमारे लिए काम कर रहे हैं और हम हज़ारों लोग रिक्रूट करने के लिए तैयार हैं अगर हमको स्किल्ड एम्प्लॉय मिले यहाँ पे. और ऑब्वियसली ये सर्विस की डिमांड यूएस में बहुत ज़्यादा है. सो हम यहाँ पे निवेश कर रहे हैं ये और ऑफिसेस खोलने के लिए और लोगों को ये स्पेशलिटी में ट्रेन करने के लिए.
मेरा नाम मैग्नल रॉड्रिक्स है और मैं एक्विटी इंडिया का एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर हूँ. देखिए, जैसे कि जब भी हम कोई जॉब्स अपॉर्चुनिटी यहाँ पे इंडिया में अगर इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं तो ऑब्वियसली रिस्पांस अच्छा ही रहेगा. जैसे CEO कश्यप जोशी ने कहा था कि ये जो नई वर्टिकल्स है स्क्राइबिंग और कोडिंग जिस पे हम अभी फोकस करने वाले हैं एक्सपेंशन और ग्रोथ के लिए फॉर बिजनेस ईयर इन इंडिया, तो इसके द्वारा हम यहाँ पे बहुत सारे जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्रिएट करने वाले हैं. और ये जॉब्स कोई लेवल ऑफ एज बार या ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. और ये जॉब्स के लिए हमें कोई स्पेशलाइज्ड ट्रेनिंग के लोगों की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. ये नॉर्मल ग्रेजुएट्स भी कर सकते हैं. बस ये है कि हम उनको थोड़ा सा ट्रेनिंग हमें देना पड़ेगा और ये ट्रेनिंग के द्वारा वो फुल्ली क्वालिफाई हो जाते हैं हमारे ये सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करने के लिए. और ये ट्रेनिंग काफ़ी उनके लिए कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ये पूरी ट्रेनिंग हम खुद हमारे एंड से करते हैं और ये उनके लिए फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट रहता है. और जब ये पूरा ट्रेनिंग का प्रोसेस जब चालू रहता है तो उन्हें हम स्टाइपेंड भी पे करते हैं, तो इट्स अ विन विन सिचुएशन उनके लिए जो ये पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में आना चाहते हैं और अपना करियर बनाना चाहते हैं।
आपसे ये भी जानना चाहेंगे कि हिंदुस्तान इंडिया ठीक क्यों इस बिजनेस पे?
यहाँ पे अवेलेबल हम फर्स्ट हम ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे हैं। हम यहाँ जैसे मैंने बताया पहले, हम यहाँ ऑलरेडी 11 सेंटर्स खोल चुके हैं और यहाँ पे जो टैलेंट पूल अवेलेबल है, जो इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग टैलेंट पूल अवेलेबल है, संख्याओं में वो कहीं भी नहीं है अवेलेबल। सो हमारे लिए यहाँ पे एक्सपांड करना बहुत इजी है देन और कोई जगह पे जाना। और सबसे बड़ी वजह है कॉस्ट। यहाँ का वर्चुअल स्काइप का कॉस्ट इज़ 30% कम है यूएस से। सो ऑब्वियसली ये बहुत सेम क्वालिटी वर्क हम सस्ते में यहाँ कर सकते हैं, जो कि यूएस हॉस्पिटल का कॉस्ट और रिड्यूस कर देगा।
सर जैसे कि आपने कहा कि 11 सेंटर आप लोग ने इंडिया में चालू किया, तो 11 सेंटर कहाँ पर है कुछ बताएंगे?
हाँ, हमारे 11 सेंटर इन सिटीज़ में हैं: मुंबई, पुणे, नागपुर, वाइजैक, हैदराबाद, कोयम्बतूर और बेंगलोर। और हम एक एक सिटीज़ में मल्टीपल सेंटर खोलते हैं सो दैट हमारे एम्प्लॉय को ज़्यादा कम्यूट का उनका जो ट्रैवल टाइम है वो बहुत रिड्यूस हो जाए। इसके लिए जैसे हैदराबाद में हमारे 3 सेंटर हैं और वो 3 सेंटर में हम 1000 के प्लस लोग ऑलरेडी एम्प्लॉय कर चुके हैं। सो हमारे 11 सेंटर यहाँ से हैं। हम इंडिया में 1999 से हैं। सो वी हैव 20 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस इन इंडिया।
गवर्नमेंट का किस तरह का सपोर्ट मिलता है आप लोग को?
अभी हमको गवर्नमेंट का कोई सपोर्ट नहीं है। हालांकि हम चाहते हैं कि हम फ्यूचर में स्किल इंडिया मूवमेंट में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से पार्टिसिपेट करें और ऐसा कोर्स क्रिएट करें इन पार्टनरशिप विद गवर्नमेंट। जैसे हमको जब कोई कॉलेज से ग्रेजुएट होकर निकलता है तो रेडी स्किल सेट अवेलेबल है। सो हम उसको लिमिटेड ट्रेनिंग देके प्रोडक्शन वर्क पे डाल सकें, जिससे वो डायरेक्ट एक अच्छा वेतन कमा सकें। स्क्राइबिंग में हज़ारों से प्लस लोगों का हमको रिक्वायरमेंट है। हम फ्यूचर में मल्टीपल जोग्राफीज़ में भी जाएंगे। हम दूसरे शहरों में जाएंगे जहां हम नहीं हैं, जहाँ पे हमको ऐसा टैलेंट मिले, जहाँ पे अच्छी कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी से हम अच्छे एम्प्लॉई हायर कर सकें। हम उसमें ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्ट कर चुके हैं, हम और इन्वेस्ट करेंगे और हम दूसरे वर्टिकल में भी जाएंगे। हेल्थ केयर में हमारे जो कस्टमर हैं, जो अमेरिका की लार्जेस्ट हॉस्पिटल हैं, उनको और तरीके का लेबर भी चाहिए, और तरीके का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव हेल्प चाहिए। हम वो सब एरिया में जाएंगे जो हमारे कस्टमर को चाहिए और हम इंडिया से एफिशिएंटली प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं।
कहना चाहते हैं कि हम जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्रिएट करने के लिए आए हैं यहाँ पे और हम उसे जितना फास्ट कर सके उतना फास्ट ग्रो करना चाहते हैं यहाँ पे। तो एक्विटी एज अ ब्रांड टू वर्क विथ मच नोन प्लेस फॉर पीपल टू वर्क विथ क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं।
नमस्कार, मैं हूं अली अब्बास। तेज़ रफ्तार न्यूज़ में आपका स्वागत है। आइए नज़र डालते हैं आज की कुछ ताज़ा खबरों पर।